Hello everyone, welcome to the February Creative Design Team Video Collaboration Hop. This month our team is focusing on treat holder projects that you can make using your Close to My Heart products. Since coffee is one of my favorite treats, I decided to make a Valentine coffee mug treat holder. I've used a variety of images in Cricut Design Space, created a tag using Print Then Cut, and I even covered some chocolates using our Oh My Heart paper. Before we make this project together, I want to show you how I created this project in Cricut Design Space. The first thing I needed to do was find a coffee sleeve, so I went to my projects and searched for the word coffee, and wouldn't you know it, they happen to have a leather coffee sleeve already pre-designed for me in Design Space. The best part was it's free, so I didn't have to pay anything to use it. I just had to click customize and open it in my canvas. This coffee sleeve is going to be cut out of cardstock and Oh My Heart paper, so I'm going to duplicate it. The bottom layer is going to be out of candy apple cardstock, and I'm going to color that base layer red. Then I'm going to resize the top layers. You can see here I just unlocked it and I'm just dragging it so it fits. I'm going to center it to make sure it looks good, then recolor it so that I know it's cutting out of the pink plaid Oh My Heart paper. Now I'm going to group the two images, which will allow me to move both of them together so that I can start designing that coffee cup image. The inspiration for this design came from a very old Cricut magazine, and underneath the coffee mug was a scallop circle in the design. So I am searching scallop circle, and I'm going to filter out my images so that I can look through my own personal image library for a scallop circle that I want to put on the front of the coffee mug. As you can see, I have a lot of scallop circle or scallop images, and as I'm scrolling through, I came across this one that I do like from the Art Philosophy collection. So I want to look at other images in this collection that are going to go with my design. And here I have this little rectangle tag. I do like that, so I'm going to select it and try to look through and find that circle. But it's much easier for me to just go up to the top and type in the word circle, and then it will bring up all of the circle images that are within the Art Philosophy collection. By using this search feature, I was able to find the circle I wanted, a flower that I needed, and a leaf design for my project, all within the Art Philosophy collection. I've inserted all of these images into my canvas, and I'm going to take a look at each one individually. This circle I am not a fan of. I didn't want it to be that frame, but instead of searching for another circle, I am going to use the contour feature to remove the outer portion of the circle so that I have just the inside to use as one of my layers. The scallop circle will have 3 layers, so I'm going to duplicate that background layer, resize it, recolor it, then place all 3 layers how I would like them to look in my design. The center layer is going to have a stamped background image on it, so I'm going to change that color to white. The next step was to find that perfect cup of coffee, which all coffee lovers search for. And I looked under cup, I looked under tea, I looked under cartridges with the word latte, and found this adorable collection. It's called Love You a Latte, and I decided to buy it. Now, since I purchased it, I did have to exit out of Design Space, then log back in, and I was able to snag the image and place it into my design. Once again, resizing, recoloring the image how I want it, and I realized that the layer with the cup and the steam are actually one image, but I want the cup and the steam to be 2 different colors. So I'm going to use that contour feature again. I'll first duplicate the image so that I have 2 separate images, one for the steam, one for the cup. Choose contour and get rid of the images I don't want. In this case, the steam on one, the cup on the other. Then recolor them and place them over my image. I used the same contour method with the card. I just wanted the leaves, so I got rid of the card and used the leaves in my design. To create this tag, I used the Print Then cut method. So you'll see here I've already typed out my letters. They're currently cut images along with the tag, and I'm just going to select all of the images there, the words and the tag, and then I'm going to choose a flatten, and this will turn it into a print then cut image. So let's look at what that looks like when you go to make it. Before doing this, I did calibrate my printer, which is something I talk about in my Cricut Basics class. And I'm going to first send the item to my printer. And you simply just connect your computer to your printer and print out the object. You're going to place that printed piece of paper onto your Cricut mat, making sure that it is placed in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll see there are some marks that your Cricut is going to follow when it cuts. You will see that it has been printed in Design Space. You will load your mat, and your machine will read those registration marks created by your printer, then cut out the shape as you have designed it on your canvas. And here's what my completed tag looks like. The words have been printed on there, and it has been cut out into the shape that I need for my project. So now we're to the point where we have everything we need cut out for this project. I found this mug at Michael's. It's just in their dollar bin, and I was debating covering it with vinyl, but I want the person to be able to reuse it. So I'm just going to create the paper wrap around it with the design, and then they can remove that and use this mug later. I'm going to start with that rolled flower because it's going to need some time to dry. I've inked the edges of the petals with some raspberry ink. Then I'm using a quilling tool to roll the flower. Art Philosophy has a lot of these rolled flower images, and you're going to want a quilling tool. These can be found on the Cricut website or on Amazon. Once it's been rolled, you'll just loosen up the center, apply some glue to the base, then set the flower aside to dry. I've used an embossing folder on this red scallop circle, and I want the dots to appear like polka dots. So I'm using a sanding block, and I'm sanding the tops of the dots. And since our cardstock is white core, it now looks like the background is a white polka dot scallop circle. I'm going to start assembling that coffee sleeve. You can see here I added some faux stitching to this plaid paper. I'm going to use liquid adhesive. I want these two pieces to stick down well to each other while they're wrapped around the cup and not come apart. Sometimes tape runners don't stick as well around curved surfaces. So once I've applied the liquid glue and layered the two pieces together, I'm going to set it aside to dry while I assemble the coffee cup. As you can see, I did ink the edges of most of these images. I used toffee ink and raspberry ink to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm just placing each one of the layers on top of each other. So this espresso piece is going to go right on top of the toffee piece, and the top of that is the actual coffee. Then I'll assemble the steam portion using some foam dots, and then attach the two portions of the cup using thin foam dots and thick foam dots so that I have a multi-layer look to this coffee mug. For some fun little touches, I'm just using a white jelly roll pen, and I'm adding a few details to the steam and to the actual coffee portion of the cup itself. After brushing that blue scallop circle with diamond stickles, I adhered it onto that candy apple scallop circle, then layered the white scallop circle on top. Now you can see I did use a background stamp and some toffee ink on that white scallop circle like I planned. This was just to give it a little bit more to the design. Then I adhered the coffee cup onto the scallop circles using some foam tape, and then I added the blue striped heart to complete the design of my coffee cup. The final piece in this project was that print then cut tag, and I'm just adhering the frame onto the printed portion using foam tape, and then I'm going to glue down those sets of almond colored leaves. I'll adhere that rolled flower onto the tag, and then just for a little bit of added sparkle, I'm going to use my shimmer brush and apply some shimmer onto the leaves. Now I get to put everything onto that coffee mug, and I'm just going to use a tape runner with just a little bit of adhesive. I want the person who receives this gift to be able to remove it from the cup so they can use the cup later. I'm just going to wrap that coffee wrap around the mug, adhere it in place, then attach that decorative portion of the design onto the front of the mug using some foam squares. Before I wrap this gift up, I want to decorate these Hershey's Nuggets. So I've cut some Oh My Heart paper at 3 inches by 1 inch. Then I'm just going to use a tape runner to adhere the wraps around each one of the nuggets, and you just do a little adhesive on each end, wrap it around the chocolate, and you have a little decorative nugget to place inside the cup. Now all we have to do is fill this coffee mug with our chocolate nuggets, attach our tag with some twine, create a nice decorative bow using some white ribbon, and our gift is ready to give for Valentine's Day. Just what all of my friends want: coffee, crafting, and chocolate for Valentine's Day. I want to thank you for joining me today as we created this Valentine coffee mug treat holder with this fun little tag and this fun little icon I created in Cricut Design Space. I hope that you continue on with this video collab hop. The next person in our hop is Katie Donaldson Taylor, and you can find her link in the comments below, along with a list of supplies I used and a link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.